Hey guys, Rick Stone here from Stony Acres Gardening. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be kind of continuing our series on seed starting. It's that time of year when our thoughts are starting to turn to growing our own seedlings indoors so that we can get them transplanted out into our garden later on. And so today I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the easiest seeds for you to start indoors. And I've got 11 for you. I'm going to go through each of those and talk about how we get them started and why they're so easy to start. Now, before we get started, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that notification bell so you get noticed every time I release new videos. Also, make sure you go follow us over on Instagram. I'd love to have you join us there. And then if you're really interested in learning more about seed starting and about growing your own seedlings indoors, then I would recommend that you go check out our Seed Starting Workshop. So this is going to start on February 13th. It's an 8-day event, and we've got a lot of fun stuff planned. Right now, we are taking people on the wait list. So you can click this link right up here or the link down in the description of this video, and that will take you over. You can get signed up for the wait list. We've got a lot of fun stuff happening. Already 250 plus people signed up for that list. So I would love to have you come and join us for that workshop. All right, so let's talk about these seeds that I feel like are some of the easiest ones for you to actually get started indoors. Great way for beginners to have success by going through these seeds. Now, why did I choose these 11 seeds? These are probably the most carefree seeds that you can grow. There's not a lot of special treatment that needs to happen. As long as you put them in a decent sized container, you shouldn't need to pot them up. There's no cold stratification needed. You don't have to worry about soaking the seeds or notching the seeds or anything like that. These are all just simple seeds that we're going to put the seed in the potting soil and water them, fertilize them, put them under the lights, and away we go. They should be relatively easy for you to grow indoors. And so, these really should help you out. So let's get started. And the first on the list is lettuce. Now, lettuce does really well planted directly in the garden, but I like to grow it indoors under lights so that I kind of have a constant flow of lettuce. And so I will actually start about 8 to 10 weeks before my first frost date. I will start growing seedlings indoors. And about every 3 weeks, I plant a new set. And so I'll usually maybe do 15 or 20 plants. And if I do that, and I kind of just constantly do that with the lettuce throughout the year. So in the spring, I'm doing spring varieties. When we get closer to summer, I switch over to the summer crisp varieties like Nevada and Muir. And then we go through the summer with those, and then we switch back to those cooler season varieties in the fall again. And I kind of just have this constant flow. About every 3 weeks, I'm planting some seedlings, taking them out to the garden later. And the lettuce is just great for that. And planting them indoors is just a great way to maintain them, to guarantee that you've got good germination, and it kind of gives you a better finished product. Next on the list, we have two of our kind of solid eating greens. Both kale and collards are very easy to start indoors. So both of these, I'm going to start my first planting about 8 to 10 weeks before my last frost date in the spring. That gives me some time to get them up and established, and then we can transplant them out about 4 weeks before that last frost date into the garden, and it gives you just a good solid plant that's going to grow and do really well for you. Again, with both collards and kale, I will do some succession planting. So maybe, I'll start about 10 weeks before my first frost, and then maybe another 4 weeks later, I'll do some more, and then maybe right on my frost date, I'll plant some more. That gives me a succession of plants that we can use out in the garden. So both of those are really good. They're frost hardy, so you can put them in before your frost date actually comes, and it's just a great, another simple plant for you to grow. Next on the list is an herb, and that is basil. Basil is actually pretty easy to grow. It doesn't require a lot of care. Basil is a warm season crop, so it's frost sensitive. It'll die if it gets frosted, so we're going to wait a little bit longer on those. So basil, usually we're going to start those about 6 weeks before your last frost date in the spring. That will have them ready to go out right around that last frost date, maybe a week or so afterwards. You could do a succession planting of those as well. 2 or 3 different plantings will get you, kind of a good succession throughout the summer of different maturities of plants. But basil, really easy to grow. put the seeds in the soil, water them, and off they'll go. Next on our list is tomatoes and eggplants. Both of these, which are in the same family, tomato family, are really easy to start indoors. They handle potting up well if you happen to need to do some potting up. They're pretty much just put the seed in the ground, water them, and they'll take off and do well as long as you keep the lights about 2 inches above the surface of the plant so that they have plenty of light. They should just grow very well. Fertilize them about once every, I don't know, week to 10 days, and you'll have some really happy transplants. Pretty easy to get those started. The timing for both of these is going to be about 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. You want to have some good solid, 6-inch, maybe 8-inch tall transplants that are ready to go out in the garden right after your last threat of frost. And so, a 6 to 8 weeks before is a good time frame to have a good solid transplant to be ready out in your garden. Next, I've got a couple of flowers for you. So there are plenty of flowers that do really well in the garden, and I love both of these for color in the vegetable garden and also for some of the pest and pollinator characteristics that they have. So the first one on the list is marigolds. Marigolds are really easy to start indoors. You just put the seed in the soil and they take off and do really well. You do want to give these a little bit more time than some of the other flowers, so probably 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date is when you want to get those started indoors. They'll do really well out in the garden. They're great for repelling a lot of different pests. They're not fantastic pollinator attractors, but the properties that they have at repelling other pests makes them a very valuable plant for your vegetable gardening. And the next one is zinnias. So I love zinnias, just a really pretty cut flower. They also look really nice in the vegetable garden, and they are much better at attracting pollinators and bringing pollinators in, and so they're a great addition to your vegetable garden. With zinnias, you can wait just a little bit longer with those, probably 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date is when you want to get those started indoors. The last three on our list are broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower. All three of these you treat pretty much the same. They're all in the same family. They're all going to grow pretty similar. They're going to look a lot alike for a long time. And so you want to get those started fairly early, surprisingly early, okay? So we want those transplants to be ready to go outside about 4 weeks before your last frost date. That's the cool time of the year when all of these cool season crops are going to grow really well. So that means we need to back way up to get our transplant started indoors. You actually want to start broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower about 10 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. So a full 3 months before, so that 4 to 6 weeks before that frost date, you have them ready to go out in the garden. So a little bit earlier than a lot of these other plants. So you do want to make sure that you get those started with a good timing. All right, so that is our list of the easiest plants for you to grow. If you're interested in getting started with your own seedlings, pick however many or all of these from your list and get some containers and take off. Those are going to do really well for you. Most of them are fairly low maintenance, and so they should do really well for beginners especially. And they're all plants that are going to transplant well, and you're just going to be happy with them overall, okay? Now, if you are interested in learning more about seed starting, I wanted to tell you just a little bit more about this workshop that we have coming up. It starts on February 13th. It's an 8-day event, so we have 7 days of pre-recorded video, so you can watch it anytime during the day that you want. We have workbooks that go along with it. We'll have homework assignments every day for you to do. And then on day 8, we actually get together on a Zoom call and we do a live Q&A session. Given the number of people that we're already having signing up this year, I think we'll probably maybe do 2 or 3 Q&A sessions during the day so that everybody has an opportunity to join. We'll do some prize drawings as well. And so it's just a really fun program. It's very inexpensive. It's only $29 to join. If you're watching this video early in January, we've got a wait list, and so you can click this link right up here and go join the wait list. If it's closer to February 13th that you're watching this video, there'll be a link down in the description that you can click on where you can actually go sign up for it. So I would love to have you come and join us for that. It's It's going to be a blast again this year. I know that you're going to like it. It's very helpful and will really take you through the whole process of growing your own seedling. So get signed up for that. Link right up here or down in the description. All right, that, my friends, is all I have for you for this week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Go follow us over on Instagram. We'd love to have you join us there as well. And we will talk to you next week. Happy gardening.